Hi guys, Ralph here. Now, I've got a little bit of an apology for last week's video. It kind of, something's not right with my computer. I've been doing things, I've been faffing with things. I think I've reinstalled Windows and it's working fine. But the videos I make might be weeks, occasionally a month in advance, if I got that much content. But that one, with the power converter, Master System converter, was right in the middle of when my computer was messing up. I only reinstalled everything last week, so technically I checked it. I just didn't check all of the video. I didn't realise that there was that much problem 9 minutes in. But I've thought about what I can do with that. I'm obviously going to go back to refilming the footage that I did. I thought about just redoing the footage and then dubbing over the audio from the other video, but that won't work because there's cuts in the audio as well. It kind of jumps around quite a bit, and there's footage as well that I got captured from this. I'm not going to bother doing that. It's going to be a more stripped down of this. This does work. I know I proved it to myself that it does actually perfectly work, and I've only got the one game for this. But let's try and... I'm going to cut in now what was good on the video for last week and try and keep on that, and then I'll attempt to join in at the end before it cocks up, basically. So back to last week's video. Hi guys, Ralph here. Now I've got a couple of Sega Mega Drives in front of me, the original and classic one. The Mega Drive 2, slightly slimmer, slightly little configured, but yeah, just basically redesigned of the old Mega Drive there anyway. But what else could you do with these? We know we've got the mini versions out now, and they're really good to play, and you can hack into them. You've got extra games on them, you can do loads of stuff with them. But I prefer the original equipment. Really love playing on these. I have an EverDrive for these so I can play whatever I want with them. But what else can I do? Now, back in the day, there were add-ons and bits and bats. I don't have the Mega CD. Would love the Mega CD. Would also love the 32X that sits on top of here as well. But it ain't gonna happen. I know it's not. They're worth an absolute fortune, and go for a fortune on eBay. So there's no way in hell I'm gonna be able to get one of those. But the best thing you could get for these, if you've got an old Master System, you could get one of these. The Master System converter, which, bless it, why it's red underneath I will never know, but bless it, it was a Master System without having to buy a Master System, unless your old Master System was broken and you still play the old games on. And this obviously just slots in. It's a cartridge that's been welded, melded, moulded into the back of here and just slots straight in. You can't actually use this version on the Mega CD, Mega Drive 2, shall we say, which is, it's kind of a shame, but they did have one that was actually another cartridge on top, and then that Mega Drive Master System cartridge fitted straight on top of that again. I mean, you could... it possibly could fit on there. I'm not willing to do anything, but you would need to break that part off, possibly even to that line there to try and get onto it, and it would potentially fit on there, but I'm not going to do that. But these are just absolutely brilliant. Slot on, and you've got a Master System as well as a Mega Drive. So let's get rid of this one. I don't really need that just yet. So I never had a Master System growing up. Cartridge slot comes underneath there. Pause button. Pause button? I mean, why was it missing from the Mega Drive? I mean, oh, I need to have my tea. This is what other kids would be doing. I need to go my tea. Oh, off you go. Simple as that. But these, it kind of looks really quite good having this on there to play your old system games. I mean, only funny if Sony themselves didn't change the cartridge slot. I mean, an old system, yeah, it's kind of more squarish and won't fit at all in there. So yeah, adapter, open up, in she goes. And I've got a Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Master System. Card input there, which used to be able to get card games. I don't think there were that many available, but there it is. But the pause function on an old system. I used to grow up with the Atari 2600 and we never had a pause button on that. There is an upgrade now you can get for the 2600 which has a pause option on there. But it's kind of, it's nice, but you might as well just sit down and play the game and just wait for whatever. Only thing that's missing off this, and needs a little bit, tiny bit of a clean up, is the securing bolt on the back, and I can't find one at all. Well, I can, but they're £5 on eBay, and I refuse to pay that for what is basically that. Yeah, I find I've got loads of these. I do a lot of DIY stuff in the home. These sort of connectors that connect two cupboards together, push one in one side and one in the other. It's the perfect diameter bolt, and actually not too bad on lengthwise bolt to put in there to secure it in place, which is nice. I haven't got to go out and shell out for something more, but that is secure in there, won't come off at all. In fact, it's a little bit of pain in the backside, could do with it being more of a thumbnail or a wing nut or something like that, but it will come off, so you can remove that. Hooray, back onto the Master System and Mega Drive separate. Now what I'm going to do on this, because I had no idea what's inside here. I stripped down the Mega Drives before, so let's get into taking this apart and seeing what is inside, because this is basically just a small Master System, and see what's in. So we've got 4 screws, larger screws, and 4 smaller screws here. So let me get on with undoing this. Fine, we'll actually undo this as well and see what's inside. Why does it say Mega cartridge when it's a Master System? That's a bit weird. Let's get into the Master System converter for the Mega Drive and see what is inside this thing. Right, the screws are out. Small ones are up here, bigger ones are there. My securing pin is there. Now let's have a see. I'm not entirely sure which way would come up. Obviously there's black and red plastics, so ooh, kind of popped out a little bit. And so the black section looks like it comes off of everything. Oh, that's very interesting. You've got like almost like a memory card there. It's about the size of, yeah, another cartridge. And you've got, I'll get you in, let's have a look at this. You've got a chip there, some resistors, a capacitor which looks perfectly fine. Actually, pause button, a couple of which look like they are bridging errors possible. Cartridge shot, look, this looks fine. It doesn't actually look like it needs much cleaning. It's a little bit dusty. Holding parts in there, so it looks like there's 4 screws holding this in. Those 2 would obviously be holding the cartridge in case you have the cartridge game, which I wonder if, would they actually fit a Game Gear game? I don't think they would they? So the pins are only on this top layer here. It'd be nice to think that your Game Gear games would work on this as well, but you'd probably need another adapter, but we'll go onto the Mega Drive, the Master System to use for that. It would be nice to know. I'm trying to think if I need to recap this. I don't think I do. The little use this will have had. There's a little bit of dust there. You can see I've just pulled that off there. And I'm going to take these screws out, give it a good clean. I wonder if this will come out with that slot, the board there attached underneath it. It should do. So let me take another 4 screws out. Actually, while I'm here, let's get the cartridge open. It's the there's a lot of kits that you get out there which have got these hexagonal keys for the screwdrivers, but it's the larger of the 2 for the Master System cartridge. Let's have a look. Ooh, that seemed to move very quickly. It gets me on these. I know I'm surprised by old tech. It looks like this might have actually been used quite a bit, because you can see the difference on there to there, but I'll isoprope all this. And the amount of connections they have just to... So It's amazing. You got a Sega chip there. NPR 15159 W20. There's nothing to them. It amazes me because there's nothing actually to these. There's a chip, there's a resistor, there's a capacitor. That's it. And looks kind of okay. Looks like it should be a bit of a clean up. So let me take the rest of the screws out of this and see what's underneath here. If there's anything underneath the board on this one. For no reason, I have screws. But that's okay. I'm just getting dementia, don't worry about it. So, right, let's have a push through. Okay, that pushes down. Ooh, surprisingly, there's a weight round that. Bottom section looks like it possibly could pull out. So I'm extending my caution slot, there it goes. And there the video went. There's a narration over it, like I say, but it's kind of, it doesn't make much sense without the pictures anyway. So back to the actual cartridge bit. Now, I was surprised that there's actually a lead weight round this, like a carbon weight. Two little spring clips either side holding that in. And yeah, I don't know why these would be on here. It's kind of weird. Kind of really weird how you'd have something which potentially could fall off and damage something on there, but it was the 90s. So we have this expander sort of slot, which is very interesting. Slides out. I want the lettering facing to the forward part. So lettering to lettering, nothing on the other side anyway. So it's just an expansion with some capacitors on it. It's absolutely nothing. Just make this obviously a lot bigger, but convert between Mega Drive and Master System, and then goes into the Master System section up here, and off it goes. Which is quite fun to. Yeah, they've got these two plastic clips either side. Going to come off. That just holds the whole thing to everything. I mean, it's an interesting little thingamajig to yeah, a few parts there for obviously errors over the time, or an upgrade, downgrade, whichever. I mean, they are quite interesting to have these. I mean, I haven't got to go through any more of the Mega Drive anyway, or buy a Master System, but to have one of these is quite good. So, so we're on with Reassembly, I think. I was going to clean this, but I don't think it needed anything. It looks perfectly fine. Just need to test it. I'd never actually tested this. Well, on the original version, never tested it. I was at this stage thinking, yeah, we can do some testing when it's all plugged into the Mega Drive. So, let's get back onto Reassembly. Now, as I remember, the lettering goes to lettering. Does it? I hope so. Actually, I thought that was the other way around. No. Actually, now that looks odd to me. Is that the wrong way around completely? Does that go in here? Yes. Ralph, you moose. Right, so that actual cartridge slot does fit in there. That goes on the top anyway. Yeah, that's why it looks odd. So they put the lead weight back on. I mean, they're not even a little lip round them. I want to be careful in case I actually break. Not like carbon weight, something you put around around a motor or something. And just two spring clips, just hold it in place. Very rattly, very weird. And with only being one chip on this and a few capacitors, I don't think I'll bother changing any capacitors. They don't seem to need to be done. But one chip in the centre there, reset button over there. Yeah. So that's all there are to it. There's nothing much we could do or go wrong. Actually, something I could go wrong is not put those back in. Okay, so they hold that in place. So we can screw it down to the plastic casing. Should I put these in to start with? I don't know, like it fits that side. Yeah, it does. Alright, so that's back together and wants to slide back in place as that's better. Just need to slide it into where the holes are, and that falls back through into the Mega Drive part. So done. So screw, screw, screw. I'll get this screw back in, and we'll continue with reassembly and testing, shall we? Back together easily. It's only 6 screws there. These two are exactly the same size, and those are a bit longer, just holding it all back in, and the lid goes on top. It's quite simple, but I like simple. So screw these back in. Let's get this tested. 4 big, 4 little screws. 4 big ones go in each corner, as I'm showing you now, and the littles go da-da-da-da. Where's that one gone? There it is. Yes. I mean, these are. There is a difference in size, so even I can figure this one out. Well, yeah, we'll get this screwed together, set her up. I'll see what I can do on testing. We have got the Sonic game. We'll see. I'll show you that it works fine. I know it's been, yeah, with the problem with the video, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, testing whether or not I'll set the camera up behind on a tripod and show you. As I probably will. Yeah, it's better like that instead of bending the camera down. And I'm not doing the. I think half the problem with the last video was down to it was. I'm sure the Elgato doesn't. I'm sure the editing software I like to use doesn't like the Elgato. Or it's just me. It's probably just me anyway. But the computer itself, I'm sure it's got problems, or had problems. So at the time of rendering, editing the video together, I never noticed that it completely messed up. The computer itself, what I had the problems with, actually, it would work, but the fans would go. I had problems before with the water cooler on it, and that burned itself out. So there was some sort of issue on the board. Got a new, there was a block for an air cooler with some fans on it. Got some new ones of that, and it did seem to work okay, but the fans would run at 100 miles an hour sometimes, and I don't know what was wrong. So that's been cleaned, put back together, put the fans on the right connection points on the motherboard, and fine, working. It's been nearly a week now since, as it has been for now, as me filming this extra parts, it's been just over a week, and the computer's running fine. But the full reinstall, I hate reinstalling Windows, I absolutely detest it. But sometimes you have to do it. So very easy to put this in. Now I did have before, I said before that it looks odd, this part here, because it's kind of white. There should be, it looks like there should be something over here just to make it blank out a bit, but it just doesn't seem to. It does, but it doesn't blend in well. I don't know. I think it's probably just me. So that goes in place, but there was one thing I actually found after filming, and I've completely lost it at the minute. There was a screw on the back of here that I managed to get changed, get put on there, which worked fine, and I told you to do certain things, but found this at work, and it's almost identical. It was too long, it was probably 3 times the length of this, but it's a plastic capped screw thread. Can't tell you what type it is because I don't measure them. Cut down to size, it fits into there, as you can see, not perfectly, not too far out, screws in a few, and it's perfect. It's the wrong colour, I know, but it's virtually the same as the original one you get with this. So that's a triple winner for me anyway, and that won't come out. So let's get this rigged up, Sonic in, and see if this works again, shall we? Now, I've got the Mega Drive set up, Master System Converter in, and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So let's see if this works. I know it worked before on the original version, but let's see if it works now. Ah, there we go. This is running through the cable at the back, not the RF, not the RGB either, the composite. Not a bad picture, to be honest, but it is the TVs. The TVs now that don't really seem fully compatible. on an HD one, I'll get the Mega Drive Mini out. But this is fine. We're just testing and playing at the moment. Oh, damn it. I'm jumping all the wrong places. Worse. Even worse. I think I'm a little rusty. But it does prove that it works. But does a pause button work? Okay, so the music stops. See, that's interesting again. I think with the Master System... Has the Master System been out? Oh, there's a movie magic for you. I don't think the Master System one's been out. But it kind of pauses the game, but it doesn't pause the animation, so everything's still there. So it stopped in mid-air, but everything else is still going. The clock stopped, that's still... It's weird. I can't think if it's an interesting feature doing that or not. No, no. Yeah. We've got to finish a level at least. Oh, get in. That's better. 37 seconds, level 1, Sonic 2, Master System. Master, there we go. So, works fine. Yeah, that's the end of the video. I'm trying to think what else I did on the video, but I think that's probably it. Well, I've probably done a bit of I think I did over the top viewing with the Elgato in one of the corners, which is fine, which is great. So which did work, didn't work. I haven't got the footage. The reinstall of the computer has completely lost all of that. So there's nothing much I can do apart from refilm, re-edit the parts that I did have, and then put it in this one. So I do apologise anybody who does watch that. I'm leaving that video on from last week, so you can all see, you can hear exactly what I did, because it's more, well, it's more like a podcast now, isn't it? Half video, half podcast, but you know, it's just happened. It's one of them things that will happen. So I mean, I'm sure there's more on my videos that I've had cock-ups like that, but I've not really noticed. So yeah, well, we'll do this again, I'm sure, one day. So with that in mind, a little bit awkward to do. Please like, subscribe, follow me on social media. Yeah, if you want to donate something to the channel, something that doesn't work or something that does work, please get in touch. I've got in the description below. There's lots of links. Email addresses on my channel. If not, tweet me, send me a message on that. I don't know how to read tweets, but that's fine, I'll get there eventually. If not, then get in touch somehow, can donate something, be a Patreon, help out the channel, because it's not easy doing these channels. There's a lot of new people coming around, there's a lot of good people going around, and not as much as me being as whatever I am. But other than that, it's fine, good fun, and yeah, I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.